What if I told you there are places on this planet not meant to entertain you, but to awaken you? Places that don't shout with noise or flash with lights. Instead, they whisper with wind, echo with silence. Places where something inside you softens, breaks open. Places that don't just change how you see the world, they change how you see yourself. You don't just go to these places. You arrive, you listen, you feel. This is not a top 20 travel guide. This is a pilgrimage, a journey across 20 of the most profound places on Earth. And we begin not with a city or a landmark, but with stillness. Number 1, Mount Koya, Japan. High in the forested mountains of Wakayama Prefecture lies Mount Koya, a sacred monastic town, where the air smells of pine, incense, and centuries of devotion. Here, over 100 temples sit nestled in silence, surrounded by mist and moss, and time bends gently around every corner. You arrive in the early evening. The road narrows, the forest thickens, and then, you see it. Lanterns glowing softly along stone paths, monks walking in quiet rhythm, and the faint sound of bells drifting through the trees. You sleep in a shukubo, a traditional temple lodging. Your room is simple, tatami floors, a sliding paper door, a view of the garden. Dinner is shojin ryori, vegan Buddhist cuisine served with reverence, not excess. Tofu that tastes of mountain stream. Soup that warms deeper than the body. At dawn, you rise with the monks. The sutras are chanted not for performance, but for presence. The sound hums in your bones. And then, silence. You walk to Okunoan, Japan's largest cemetery. But it doesn't feel like death. It feels eternal. Towering cedars, thousands of moss-covered tombstones. And at the center, the resting place of Kukai, the founder of Shingon Buddhism, said to still be meditating in eternal sleep. And in that stillness, something happens. Not loud, not dramatic, but deep, as if a locked room inside you quietly opens. Mount Koya doesn't just offer peace. It reminds you that peace was always there. You just needed to slow down long enough to notice. Number 2, Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. When the world gets too noisy, too fast, too crowded, come here. To the salt flat that swallows the horizon. To the place where earth becomes sky. To the mirror of silence. Salar de Uyuni is the world's largest salt flat. In the dry season, it stretches out in cracked white hexagons, blinding, boundless, and pure. But in the rainy season, it transforms. A thin layer of water coats the crust, and suddenly, the sky is below you. You walk across clouds, stand in sunsets that stretch forever, watch stars flicker beneath your feet. And for the first time, you don't know where heaven ends and earth begins. It's cold here, windy, remote, and utterly humbling. No advertisements, no cities, just salt, sky, and silence. Here, your thoughts speak louder than your voice. Here, you remember how small you are, and how infinite you feel. A single night under the stars here can do what months of meditation might not. Because sometimes, the only way to see clearly is to look into a place that reflects everything. Number 3, Luang Prabang, Laos. Some places move fast. Luang Prabang does not. Tucked between mountains and rivers in northern Laos, this ancient royal city feels like it lives in another time, or no time at all. Golden temples peek through frangipani trees. Colonial French buildings crumble with charm. And every morning, as the sun rises, a river of saffron flows through its streets. It's not a show. It's not a spectacle. It's the takbat, the almsgiving ceremony where barefoot monks walk silently, and locals kneel on woven mats to offer rice, bananas, and prayers. There's no chanting, no music, just the soft sound of robes brushing stone. And in that moment, the whole town becomes a meditation. You spend your days walking, slowly, visiting gilded wats, sipping sweet Lao coffee, watching children swim in the Mekong. You take a boat to a hidden waterfall, where turquoise pools shimmer between limestone cliffs, and you swim under bamboo shadows. Time slows, then disappears. At night, you eat grilled river fish at a quiet restaurant lit by candles. Someone plays a wooden flute. The air smells like lemongrass and smoke. And something in your chest, something you didn't even know was tight, releases. Luang Prabang doesn't push. It gently dissolves. It doesn't ask for attention. It invites your surrender. And somehow, without doing anything loud or grand, it heals you. Number 4, Bhutan, the kingdom that measures happiness in a world obsessed with GDP. Bhutan measures gross national happiness. Tucked between Tibet and India, this Himalayan kingdom is not easy to reach. But that's the point. It protects its soul, its mountains, its stillness. You land in Paro Valley, and the air feels different. Thinner, purer. Prayer flags flutter across ridges. Monks in maroon robes walk with intention. And smiles here, they're not polite. They're full. You visit the Tiger's Nest Monastery, perched on a cliff 3,000 feet above the forest. The hike is steep, the path winding, but the moment you reach the temple and look out over the valley, you stop thinking. You start feeling. There's something about Bhutan that disarms you. Not with luxury, with sincerity. The air smells of pine and butter tea. People greet you with palms together. And the silence in the temples is the kind that reaches under your skin. Here, time is not something you chase. It's something you live inside. At night, you sleep in a wood cabin where the floor creaks and the stars press against the windows. And you remember how rare that is, to feel clean, quiet, and unhurried. Bhutan doesn't give you more. It helps you want less. And sometimes, that's what heals you most. Number 5, Patagonia. Where silence becomes a landscape. There are places so vast they don't echo, because there's nothing to bounce off of. Patagonia is one of them. Stretching across Chile and Argentina, Patagonia is less a region and more a state of being. Jagged mountains slice the sky. Glaciers groan like sleeping beasts. The wind never stops, it speaks. You hike through Torres del Paine, the iconic spires standing like guardians of the edge of the world. You pass blue icebergs drifting silently in grey lakes, and guanacos watching you with ancient eyes. But what gets you isn't just the view. It's the space. So much space that you start hearing your thoughts again. So much sky that your problems look small beneath it. You camp in the cold. Wake to frozen breath and sunrise fire. You drink mate with a stranger who becomes a friend without speaking. You realize that what felt like solitude was peace in disguise. Patagonia doesn't give answers. It strips away the noise so you can hear your own. Number 6, Icaria, Greece. The island where people forget to die. There is an island in the Aegean Sea where people live longer than almost anywhere else on Earth. But that's not what makes Icaria magical. It's how they live. No one rushes. No one eats alone. Time here flows like honey, slow, golden, and nourishing. You wake up late, not from laziness, but from calm. You drink coffee under olive trees. Walk barefoot to the sea. Swim, laugh, nap, talk, repeat. The food is simple, grown nearby, cooked slowly, shared joyfully. There's no calorie counting, just wine and wild herbs, goat cheese and chickpeas, vegetables from the garden, and bread that tastes like family. But what changes you is the rhythm. The way people move without urgency. The way no one speaks of retirement because life never really becomes work. The way stories are told with hands, and silence is part of the conversation. You join a panigiri, a village feast where people dance in circles until morning, not for performance but for joy. Old men outlast teenagers. Children fall asleep in chairs and wake to more music. And no one is checking their phone. Icaria doesn't sell you wellness. It shows you how to return to it. Number 7, Sahara Desert, Morocco. The silence that listens back. The desert doesn't ask who you are. It shows you. You arrive at the edge of the Sahara. A single camel, a guide wrapped in indigo robes. And beyond them, a sea of sand that moves like memory. The ride into the dunes is long. The sun scorches. But slowly, the noise of your thoughts fades. And then, for the first time in years, nothing. Pure, golden silence. You sleep in a tent beneath stars so sharp they look etched into the sky. A Berber drum beats faintly in the distance. The fire crackles. Tea is poured. You say less. Feel more. The desert strips you down. Not just of comfort, but of confusion. You remember who you are when nothing distracts you. Here, you don't meditate. You are meditated. Number 8, Meteora, Greece. Where monasteries touch the sky. Rising from the plains of central Greece are giant stone pillars, silent towers sculpted by time. And on top of them, improbably, sit ancient monasteries. You climb steps carved into rock. Pass monks in black robes. And when you reach the summit, the wind meets you like an old friend. Inside, incense burns. Icons glimmer in candlelight. The floor creaks under centuries. You sit, and something in you bows. Meteora is not loud. It doesn't need to be. The view alone is prayer. You watch the sun fall behind stone. Bells ring from across the valley. And you understand, some places weren't built to impress. They were built to reach upward. Number 9, Lake Louise, Canada. Where the ice peaks tucked into the Canadian Rockies, Lake Louise is often photographed, but never captured. You arrive early. The lake is still, a shade of blue that doesn't exist in your memory. Mountains rise behind it, mirrored perfectly in water so calm it feels sacred. You rent a canoe, paddle slowly into the heart of the mirror. And then you stop, just drift. Listen, a glacier cracks in the distance. The air tastes like snow. A bird circles, then vanishes into pine. The cold here doesn't bite. It wakes. At night, you stay in a quiet lodge. Wrap yourself in a blanket. Sip something hot, and stare out the window as fog weaves through spruce trees. Here, the silence isn't empty. It is full of things you forgot to feel. Number 10, Zanskar Valley, India. The last quiet place in the far reaches of the Indian Himalayas lies a valley forgotten by time. Zanskar. You reach it by driving along narrow cliffside roads where landslides are common and phone signals are not. But then, it opens. A wide valley flanked by snow-capped peaks. Prayer flags fluttering in cold wind. A sky too blue to explain. Villages here are small, stone houses, yak herds, monasteries older than memory. You speak with gestures. You eat what the land gives, barley, butter tea, lentils cooked over fire. At night, the stars press close. The cold creeps in, and your breath reminds you that you are alive. Zanskar doesn't care about your schedule. It teaches you how to sit, how to watch, how to listen to wind against stone and feel it as music. It is not convenient, it is not curated, and that is exactly why it changes you. Number 11, Matera, Italy. The city carved from time. Matera looks like it was built by time itself. Houses carved into limestone cliffs. Churches hidden in caves. A maze of stone and shadow glowing under Mediterranean sun. People have lived here for over 9,000 years. And when you walk its alleys, you feel all of them. Every echo, every layer. You stay in a sassy, a cave home turned warm and quiet. Light filters through one small window. The walls are cool, ancient, and kind. You walk out at dusk. The city lights come on, and it feels like you're walking through memory. Matera teaches you that home doesn't have to be new to be right. That beauty lives in texture. That age is not something to fix, but to follow. Number 12, the Amazon, Brazil, where the earth breathes. You don't see the Amazon. It sees you. From the moment you enter the jungle, by boat, by trail, by faith, you feel watched. Not in fear, in awe. The air is thick with life. Every leaf vibrates. Every sound matters. Howler monkeys roar in the distance. Rain falls, then stops, then begins again with no warning. You sleep in a hammock under a thatched roof. Mosquito netting, flashlight, stars. A guide points out plants that heal. Insects that warn, birds that mimic. You realize you know nothing. And that's okay. You swim in a river black from tannins. Watch pink dolphins surface, then vanish. You hear frogs in your dreams. The Amazon doesn't tell you what to think. It reminds you how to feel. And how to respect things older, bigger, and more alive than you ever imagined. Number 13, Fiordland, New Zealand, where the mountains fall into the sea at the bottom of the South Island, where roads end and boats begin. Fiordland waits. Not like a destination, more like a secret. You arrive by water. Mist clings to cliffs that rise 1,000 meters straight from the sea. Waterfalls drop silently into deep dark fjords. Dolphins surf beside your boat. Seals sleep on rocks. And clouds hang low, almost touching your skin. Milford Sound is the most famous, but doubtful sound. That's where the silence lives. You turn off the engine. The guide asks everyone to stop speaking. Just for a minute. No birds, no waves, no wind, just stillness so deep you feel it in your chest. The Maori believe this land was carved by gods with giant adzes. And standing there, among green cliffs and silver mist, you believe them. Fiordland doesn't impress you. It humbles you. Quietly, completely. Number 14, Lalibela, Ethiopia. Churches carved from heaven downward in the highlands of northern Ethiopia. 1,000 years ago, people carved cathedrals straight down into solid rock. Not built on land, but beneath it. Lalibela. From the surface, you see nothing. Then suddenly, a cross-shaped hole in the earth. You descend, and what you find is a world of tunnels, archways, and sanctuaries chiseled by hand and prayer. Priests in white robes sit barefoot against stone. Candles flicker in shadowed corners. The air smells of frankincense and patience. These churches are not ruins. They are alive, used daily, sung in, prayed through. You walk through narrow passageways, feel the cold wall beneath your fingers, hear echoes of ancient chants. And something inside you, maybe something older than thought, feels known. Lalibela doesn't need fame, it has faith. And when you leave, a piece of it leaves with you. Number 15, Vaadhoo Island, Maldives, the ocean that glows during certain nights. On certain shores of the Maldives, the sea glows. You walk along the beach. It's dark, quiet, and then, with each step, blue light explodes beneath your feet. Bioluminescent plankton, alive, tiny, lighting up with every motion. The ocean becomes a galaxy, a starfield you can touch. You sit, you drag your fingers through water that flickers. You laugh like a child, then fall silent like the sky. It's not a place for selfies. It's a place to remember that the world still contains magic. That some things can't be explained, only felt. The glow fades by morning. The light goes with the tide. But you carry it home. Number 16, Reykjavik Valley, Iceland. The steam between worlds just 45 minutes outside Reykjavik. You hike through green hills that hiss with heat. Reykjavik, the Valley of Steam. The path winds past bubbling mud pools and sulfur vents. The air smells like the earth's breath. The wind is sharp, but the ground is warm. Beneath your boots, fire and water dance. And then, you reach it, a river, steaming, winding through the valley. You undress in the open air. Step slowly into the water. It is hot, alive, comforting. Above you, clouds race across the Icelandic sky. Around you, steam rises like incense from the skin of the land. Inside you, something melts. It's not luxury. It's not curated. It's elemental. You leave the river clean, not just on your skin, but in the mind. Number 17, Mount Popa, Myanmar. The monastery in the sky rising from the central plains of Myanmar is a mountain crowned by gold. Mount Popa, a sacred volcano believed to be the home of Nats, the ancient Burmese spirits. You climb 777 steps, barefoot, through cheeky monkeys and pilgrims. With every step, the noise of the world falls away. At the summit, golden stupas gleam in the sun. Bells chime in the wind. And the view is everything. Fields stretch below. Clouds hover above. And for a moment, you're nowhere, and completely present. Monks chant softly in corners. Offerings sit under trees. The air feels not holy, but honest. Mount Popa isn't just a place you visit. It's a place that watches you arrive. Number 18, Taman Sari, Indonesia. The water castle of stillness in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Behind a crumbling wall, lies a hidden garden. Pools, archways, silence. Taman Sari was once a royal retreat. Now, vines climb stone. Water laps against tiled walls. And time moves like breath. You sit by the pool. The past whispers. The present holds still. And the sound of water becomes the sound of self. It's not grand. It's not famous. But it holds peace like a bowl holds light. Number 19, Lake Atitlan, Guatemala, the mirror of volcanoes. 3 volcanoes surround it. 12 villages circle it. And one feeling anchors it, stillness. Lake Atitlan. You wake in a lakeside cabin. Watch mist rise off the water. Drink coffee while volcanoes glow in morning light. Each village offers something different. Healing ceremonies, Mayan weavings, meditation caves. But the lake is the constant. It holds your reflection, not just your face, but your feeling. Atitlan doesn't demand transformation. It invites it. Number 20, Mount Kailash, Tibet. The mountain you may never climb, but will always remember no one climbs Kailash. Not because it's too high, but because it's too sacred. In Tibet, Mount Kailash is believed to be the axis of the world. The center, the still point in a turning earth. You don't summit it, you walk around it. A 52-kilometer pilgrimage called the Kora. Step by step, breath by breath, not to conquer, to dissolve. Prayer flags flutter in winds so cold it humbles your bones. Yaks pass silently. Every footstep is a mantra. Every stone is a lesson. And as you walk, something changes. Not in the view, in you. Mount Kailash isn't about the mountain. It's about what it reflects. Not power, but peace. There are places that entertain. Places that impress. And then, there are places that change you. Not loudly, not instantly, but permanently. They slow you down, open you up, and leave something behind when you return. These are not just places on a map. They are mirrors, windows, reminders, that your soul doesn't just want more. It wants real, it wants depth, it wants truth. Herb, thank you for joining this journey. If even one place here stirred something in you, like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell. The next path might be closer than you think. We'll see you, where your soul needs to go next.